is up, my beautiful D.D.D fam? It's your boy Brendan, aka Drip, aka GG, Galaxy God, back with another video. In today's video, I have a pure Galaxy Eyes Photon list for you guys today. I know a lot of you all are wondering if I was going to do it or if I was even going to make any more pure lists after introducing the HORUS engine to the deck, but I am still going to make pure lists for you all. Just because a couple of reasons. One being, just because we have the HORUS engine doesn't mean this deck can't be played without it. This deck is just as powerful without it as it is with it. It's just the HORUS engine provides more follow-up and the ability to play through more hand traps and interruptions, since this game has gotten so fast-paced and out of hand that everybody's playing like 12, 14, 16 hand traps, which is kind of annoying. So you kind of need that extra oomph from the HORUS engine to be able to keep pushing. But nonetheless, this deck can still play without it, and I'm going to showcase that today. If you haven't already, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Smash the subscribe button and bell notification so you never miss an upload. While you're at it, if you don't mind, check the description for all the ways to support me. PayPal, Patreon, Discord, become a member of the Discord fam, and the affiliate link is down there as well to go pick up your juicy cards from TCG Player with no extra cost to you. Just gives me a kickback because I basically gave you a quick link to the website. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. This list is going to be fairly different from my previous pure lists. This also is going to be based upon post Phantom Nightmare with when it comes to like some of the hand trap choices, because we are playing hand traps in this version. So keep that in account when we're going along. We have 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. I put my other 2 Ghost Rares in the binder so I can rock one of each of the high rarities now. And then next we got 3 of the Wizard, because this is still a starter nonetheless. You need to keep that in mind. A new motto that I have and be aware of, because I'm going to probably make some merch for it too, so check the merch out too if you haven't already. But no, be on the lookout for it. Consistency is greater than utility. So you never want to minimize these cards. Just because we got Delta Wing doesn't mean this needs to go to 2 or this needs to go back to 1. No. Consistency is greater than utility. Consistency is greater than utility. But so you never want to minimize that. You always want to keep 3. Moving on, we have consistency is greater than utility. 3 Soldier, because it is a starter. You never want to cut back on any of your starters. So 3, all this is standard and cookie cutter for the most part at this point. For the random 1-ofs, we have, not 1-ofs, but 2-ofs, we have 2 Brave. We run like 13 Photons or something like that, or somewhere in that general ballpark. So 2 to that many ratio is very nice. So that you still need your extenders from hand nonetheless, just in case your starters get stopped. Granted, because this is not a 4 or an 8 starter. If this was an 8 or a 4, then that would be a lot better. Preferably if it was an 8, it'd be a lot better. But with those regular normal summon starters getting stopped, like Delta Wing or Wizard, you need more extenders from hand to push through, and Brave is one of them. Definitely, since like I said before, our Photon count is so high. Moving on to the 1-ofs now. We have 1 Afterglow. It's been that way for a while. You never need more than 1. 1 Cleric Girl, Best Girl for the Zeus combo. If you are new to the channel and don't know what the Zeus combo is, the Zeus combo is a combo I made relevant a long time ago, where you loop this in Zeus and you just make a fat Zeus and keep looping it. If you want to see the video of that, I'll list it down in the description down below for you all to go check that out. But yeah, Cleric is very important, definitely when you're trying to outgrind your opponent. 1 Summoner is all you need. You don't need 2. Definitely now that we have Delta Wing, you don't need 2. This kind of takes the backseat burner in the form of normal summons, unless it's mid-turn, and you're using this for the extra normal summon that we get off of Emperor. The best normal summon now is either Wizard or Delta Wing. So Delta Wing takes this slot for the best secondary normal summon. But yeah, that's it for the Galaxy portion of the deck. Let's get to the Photons. Starting it off with no other than 3 Delta Wing. This card is very freaking busted. Initially, I was only running it at 2 until I broke down and reread the card. And what I mean by that is, if you read this card, there is not a single once per turn clause on this card at all. So you can particularly like use this as both your normal summons. Normal summon, special summon another, detach off of level 4, add it back off Soul Flare, normal summon again to summon the other, from the third one from deck. That's another reason why it's so important to run this card at 3. There's not a single once per turn clause on this card. This card is absolutely cracked, and sometimes if you get in a weird sticky situation, you can just sit on 2 to prevent your opponent from attacking over stuff and force them to find a way to break your board by destroying it by card effect, and then yeah, and then they can attack. But it's kind of I really wish they would have given this guy 2,000 attack. It's really frustrating that they keep printing us cards without 2,000 attack, but then initially when the archetype first came around, and it was all 2,000 attack, protection, and stuff like that. But beggars can't be choosers, I guess. Moving on to the rest of the Photon engine, I dropped Orbital to 2, mainly because this is a utility card. It is a consistency card, but what I mean by consistency, you need more starters than you do extenders in the form of searching. Extenders by putting bodies on board is one thing, but I haven't found myself missing the third one, honestly. I just don't want to clog on this. I'd rather open my other starters and stuff. And once you get one of these in rotation anyways, then you don't really want to be drawing it because you just add it back from grave with Soul Flare. So I haven't missed the third. And we're on 2 jumper. If you're running the Horus version, run 3. If you're not, then just run 2. The reason why we run 3 in Horus is so we can pitch it off of Imseti, Mom Spaghetti, and then get like +3. But no, only need 2. That's all you need. 1 for turn 1, 1 for turn 2. And then the rest of the 1-ofs. 1 Vanisher, you don't need more than 1. And 1 Emperor. You don't want to clog on this because it is a hard once per turn summon. And you only need it when you need it. And I haven't ever found myself needing a second one. Same with Emperor. You don't need a second one anymore. You never really did to begin with, but I know some people still wanted to run it. So, well, before we move on, let's go ahead and count out our Photons. What we got here? We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 Photons in the deck. 12 Photons in the deck compared to the 2 Brave, so I like those odds. It's very high percentage of drawing a Photon when you see Brave. Moving on to the hand trap portion of the deck / non-engine. 3 Ash, because it's just the most generic moving forward. It's probably not going to be the most impactful when it comes to trading 1-for-1 with stuff, but it's still the most versatile when it comes to any of the hand traps. It's subject to change, though, depending on how the format rolls. Then 3 Bell, because Labyrinth, Fire Kings, anything that summons stuff from deck, except for Horus, because they're inherent summons, so you can't Bell this. But being able to hit Fire Kings very hard, and you can hit Rescue Ace in some scenarios with this. It's very, very nice. And then the last 3 non-engine, because we're running 9, is 3 Tactics. If you remember my older videos back when I was like pretty much developing what Galaxy Eyes is today, I was pretty much saying that 9 non-engine is the, if you are going to run 9 non-engine, then 9 non-engine is the way to go, is the maximum we can run. We can't run any more than that. So 9 is the bare maximum we can run without messing up our consistency too much. But 3 Ash, because it's the most generic. Bell, because it stops a lot of things. And this is just to keep extending and steal our opponent's stuff. Because if you know Galaxy Eyes, you know that this deck can easily go off with 1 to 2.5 cards, whatever, and completely go. So talents is there for us to get there. But the Ash can very well be Drolls post Phantom Nightmare, because I know Voiceless Voice, and it's very good. Droll's going to be very good against a lot of the rogue decks, and it's going to be very good against Fire Kings after they get Populous and all that stuff too. So, but Bell's gonna be very good against the Princess and everything else too. So Bell's like pretty much mandatory. I think moving forward is better than Crow. I would probably side Crow though because of cards just to get yourself more backup with your Bell, and for decks like Labyrinth or other decks that are running transaction rollback to banish their target or whatever. So keep that in mind. But definitely keep the Bells and the Talents in for this upcoming format. Ashes, you can do whatever you want to. You can run it or you can swap it for something else. Moving on to the spells. 300. 300. You shall not pass. Damn, I'm bad. That's actually Lord of the Rings, dog. Don't cook me in the comments section. 300. That's that's the movie 300. I meant to say, shit, what is it they say in that movie? I don't know. Someone let me know in the comment section, bro. Don't cook me. Don't cook me. I'm over here saying Gandalf the Grey when I'm trying to quote the movie 300. Leonidas. Whatever Leonidas said in that movie. Don't cook me. But 300. We play 3 to see it because it's a 1-card combo. I know it's searchable and all that, but you need to see it because this sending Jumper to get Trents is how you play through Droll. With that, if you don't draw the Delta Wing. And then for the 1-ofs, we have 1 Trance, speaking of the double, 1 Expedition. That's basically it. If I was, I want to try to make space for a Galaxy Zero again, because having a spell card that is like a recovery card from Jumper is kind of nice in some scenarios, definitely when you're not running the Horus cards. But I'm like back and forth on if I run 41 to make it 0 or put Galaxy Knight back in, which I'll explain more about that when we get to the extra deck, why I'm on the border of either keeping it this way, adding 0, or adding Galaxy Knight. Which, like I said, we'll talk more about Galaxy Knight in a minute. But having a spell that's searchable off Jumper that's a recovered card is kind of nice. And then the last 3 cards in the main deck is 3 Upstart. I don't run Trade-In because it's too situational, and I know we're running a fair amount of level 8s, but we don't care about giving our opponents life points because we just make Prime and kill them. Like I said before, this deck can easily go off of 1 to 2 cards, so this being able to get us whatever we need, even though this is playing head-on into draw, you can argue about that with any of the consistency cards like draw cards or whatever. So I don't really care about it. If you are not wanting to run a draw card and draw gets super impactful and heavy, I'd make this call by and then make this 0 and Knight. There you go. There's your there's the clean 40 with having called by 0 and Knight. But I still like Upstart Goblin nonetheless because it's a draw card and consistency cards and consistency over utility, bro. Consistency over utility. On to the extra deck. 2 Soul Flare. Soul Flare, standard. 1 Little Knight. If you cannot afford Little Knight, then I would try to find a way to afford Little Knight. If you are never going to be able to afford Little Knight until it gets reprinted 50 times, which I don't blame you because the card's stupid expensive. Replace it with Bujinki Yashima, because now that we play so many level 4s, Bujinki Yashima will be able to help you, obviously, XZ and pop back row, so you can pop like Fire King Sanctuary and stuff like that, or whatever else you want to pop. And it helps you play around Nib, which I've preached in the past. It helps you play around Nib because the Summon from Grave and XZ is all in one summon, so they can't really... If, like, for an example... Your Ashima is like your 4th summon. The summons from Graveyard and then immediately XZ is all one summon, which will count as the 5th summon. So if you make 90 as your 5th summon, then you're still fine. But that's it for the Link monsters. But yeah, replace it with Ashima if you can't afford Little Knight. And then I am Proxian 90. I'm only running 1 in this list only because I had to make room for other utility slots. And the reason why I'm Proxian is because I sold my copies because I was not going to miss out on I sold both my copies because I'm not going to miss out on like $160 when the card's going to be a promo, which is going to be easy to get, and it's going to be like a $2 card, $3 card. So I'm not going to miss out on like $80. But moving on, we got one Hope Harbinger. In this version, this can arguably be another Lord, but sometimes when you open cracked and your opponent doesn't open anything to stop you, you can make a second rank 8, and sometimes this can come up. But then we got Mr. OTK himself, Mr. OTK on steroids, jacked up on Mountain Dew. One Mr. Steal Your Girl. Mr. Steal Your Girl is very nice. For obvious reason, you just steal their girl and then you put this boy on top of her, giggity. And then we have one Cypher Blade. I'm not running full armor because I need to make room for other stuff. And if I'm cutting full armor, that should tell you that I'm taking the meta seriously. Because if you know me and you've been part of the channel for a long time, you know full armor is my favorite extra deck monster in the whole entire Galaxy Eyes extra deck. I just love that card. I love the art. It's really beautiful, and it's just my favorite one. But it's not as versatile as Cypher, because Cypher can pop face up or face down. Full armor can only pop face up. And also, you don't really want to be running around popping cards in this modern time of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because of Fire Kings and stuff like that. But we still keep one in here for the times where we want to pop a card just because we're trying to pop a card and break the board. But that's actually it for the Galaxy Eyes portion of the 8s. Moving on to the Galaxy portion of the 4s. We have one Blast and one Galaxy Photon Dragon. Standard consistency and protection. Nothing needs to be said. And then moving on to the generics, we have one Zeus. Zeus is stupid impactful this format. If you make a Zeus, though, instead of like slapping them on top of a 90 like we normally do, I would recommend going Mrs. Steal Your Girl and then putting what's his name, Cypher X on top, and then slapping this on top of that, so you have a 4 material Zeus to play through or around a Imperm, Veiler, Contain, or whatever. So you can make a giant Zeus for 4 materials. But yeah, and then we have Emperor Zurg from Toy Story, aka Typhon, aka Zeus's baby brother. This card's really nice with his playing talents. But one thing I will say is if you are not running, what the hell is that card? I literally just said it. Little Knight, Jesus Christ. If you're not running Little Knight because you don't want to buy one or whatever, I would not run this because you cannot unlock yourself. The reason why I run this is steal their shit, make this, bounce a card, then during turn 2 or next turn, just link this away for SP Little Knight so I can unlock myself. Because if you don't, then you're not going to have no real way to unlock yourself unless you play like an Econ or something like that to out yourself. So I wouldn't run this. But if you don't run Little Knight and you don't want to run this, then make this the second Photon Lord. The reason why we run 2 Photon Lord is so we don't have to burn our Cypher, Mr. Steal Your Girl, to rank up into like Blade and stuff like that. I know we're never going to really use the second negate aspect from number 90. It's just mainly using him as a middleman to rank up. Excuse me. So yeah. So make this the second number 90. And then the final slot in the extra deck, I was looking through my binder the other day and I found this card and I forgot all about this card even existed because I haven't played it since Toss format. But this card is absolutely busted in this deck, and that is number 68. This card is nasty. It's just basically turn skips Fire King and just wins the game for you. This card's very busted, very cracked, and very easy for us to make because we make rank 8s for a living. So just know one thing, since this is a dark, you have to open absolutely cracked or play very freaking awkward in this version of the deck because we're not playing Horus cards. If we're playing Horus, it'd be a lot different. But in Pure, it's a little bit harder to spam out rank 8s. This is the sole purpose why I told you guys earlier in the profile that I was considering playing Galaxy Knight, because sometimes it's hard to make rank 8s after you make your initial one to play around Nib, which is 90. So it's kind of awkward sometimes. And on top of that, when you use Delta Wing locks you into lights for the rest of the turn. So sometimes having additional normal summon that is an 8 is really nice. So I'm highly considering playing Galaxy Knight, and I probably will end up playing Galaxy Knight in this pure version, just so I can have an extra way to make a rank 8. Because I don't want to run Numbers Last Hope because it's too situational in this version. If you're running Horus, then the card's basically always live, and because I don't know if you've read Numbers Last Hope in a while, but it doesn't require you to target Photon or Galaxies. You can just target 2 cards in the graveyard and XZ with them. So you can target Horus cards and just XZ with them. So, but when in pure, it's hard to get 2 8s in graveyard without like solely going for that. And I like to try to play without being tunnel visioned. I like to try to play where if something happens, anything comes to me, I can play through and play around it. So I don't want to get tunnel vision on a play, then it gets stopped, and I already committed so much resources to that line, and I can't play any other lines. So, but the Galaxy Knight is probably going to be put in the deck as a 41st card, or you can move ratios around to you see fit. I just would not cut the non-engine the way it's set up if I were you, except for maybe the Ash, but I would still consider playing 9 because we're moving into a hand trap format. Where hand traps are going to be very prevalent. Board breakers is not going to get you anywhere in this day and era of Yu-Gi-Oh! In this format with the fire format. It's just not. So please don't play board breakers. You can play Hyper Galaxy in the side deck. That's perfectly fine. But I'm talking about like playing like other board breakers like Dark Ruler, shit like that. It ain't going to get you nowhere, dude. It's really not. So don't do it. And not playing less than 9 in pure is just not very optimal. I know this deck can break boards, but that just leads... it's only really that good in board-breaking formats. You are in a hand trap format, so it's very necessary to keep 9. But yeah, you can play 41, or you can drop 1 upstart down and run 2 upstart if you wanted to run 2 upstart and make it 40 and run the Knight, but I would just probably run 41. You're only... it's less than... 0.12% or something like that, or 12% or whatever, that you're taking a consistency hit on your cards. I did the math on like a few weeks back, what the difference between 41 and 40 is, like 0.12 or something like that. So you're not screwing yourself over that much by running 41, and the deck's fairly consistent as it is. But this it's very good to be able to turbo out this card. So this card just wins games, definitely when you pair it up with your rest of your board, like I mentioned before. But that's it for the main extra. I don't have a side deck for this put together, but I have a side deck somewhat in my head what I want to run, and that is 3 Tachyon. I bumped Tachyon back up to 3. 3 Nib, 3 Droll. If I'm not main decking Droll, I want to put it at 3. Since I'm not running Imperm, I want to run 3 Thanos, aka Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, because it's targeting protection, and it allows us to reset our hand and start with a monster on turn 0, and everybody's running Link monsters. So that's 12 right there, and then 2 Evenly, 1 Duster. You can swap one of those out if you want to run Hyper Galaxy in the side deck, that's fine, but that's my 15. But that's what I would run if I were to take this to a tournament, which I'm thinking about it. I don't know yet. I need to see what cards that I have ordered come in the mail for my other decks to see if I run this one just for the shits and giggles on Locals Live on Thursdays. Which brings me to the next thing. If you're new to the channel, every Thursday evening, I do my Locals Live series, which I do every Thursday if I go to Locals, which I typically let you all know if I'm not going, unless it's all of a sudden and I don't get the chance or the time to. But every Thursday evening around 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, I stream my Locals, and you get to see myself and the rest of the teammates and a couple of randoms from Locals play, and just have fun and relax and play, and you can watch some Yu-Gi-Oh! But other than that, guys, this is it for the profile. I really hope you enjoy it. I did a lot of testing with this so I can set you all up for success, because if you know me, you know that's what I want to do. That's all I want to do, is set you all up for success so you all can win and spread the joy and love of Galaxy Eyes, baby. But other than that, I love you all so much. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Check the description for all the ways to support me, and it's your boy Brendan, aka Drip, aka GG, Galaxy God. Sign out till next time. Peace. Good to learn, my guys. Love you.